On the news, Tinubu, other world leaders mourn Iran's Raisi's death from helicopter crash. Federal government presidency dismissed Atiku and Obi's planned alliance ahead of 2027 elections. And court rejects Nnamdi Kanu's plea for bail and house arrest. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Atiku. President Bola Tinubu has joined other world leaders to pay tributes to the late Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, and other government officials who died in a fatal helicopter crash. A total of 9 people were on board the aircraft that crashed in a mountainous region of the country on Sunday. Since their deaths were confirmed, leaders across the globe have sent their condolence messages to the Iranian people. In a statement on Monday, President Tinubu, through his spokesman Ajuri Ngelale, commiserated with the people of Iran over the incident, describing Raisi's death as a disturbing tragedy for the country, while praying for the continuous peace, stability and prosperity of the Iranian nation. The president assured the Islamic Republic of Nigeria's support and prayers. Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has announced 5 days of mourning for the deceased. The federal government has dismissed the planned alliance between former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former presidential candidate Peter Obi. According to the presidency, President Bola Tinubu is not bothered about the planned alliance, saying that the president is not losing sleep over alliance plots by Atiku and Obi. Atiku and Obi, who contested the presidency in 2023 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Labour Party, respectively, came second and third behind President Tinubu of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Atiku, who said the party members would decide their fate in the 2027 general elections, had said his recent meeting with Obi might indicate a possible alliance leading up to the polls. Well, let's get reaction to Atiku's hint at a planned alliance with Peter Obi. Political expert Akin Fatunke joins me on the news. Thank you very much for joining me, sir. Now, is there a chance that we might see some kind of alliance between both Atiku and Obi come 2027? And is it likely we see both men on a joint ticket? And who do you think will head that ticket as the candidate?
Very nice question, Simisola, and thanks for having me. Yes, there is more than a strong chance that we are going to have alliance. And I go historically. Right from 1960, from the First Republic, nobody has seized power singularly without the help of others, either regional alliance until 2013. Of course, before 2013, we had the MPN, NNPP, MP, Nigerian People's Party, and GNPP, all trying to come together to try and form some kind of alliance to be able to grab power. But the cum de la creme of it all was in 2013 when we saw that other alliance. Okay, parties came together, and what then happened? The power was seized on. In 2015, President Bola Tinubu coming on also was to have been a very strong alliance. This one that we are now looking at, and for one reason or the other, because parties were kind of looking it their own way. They didn't read the handwriting on the wall, just like Jonathan did not read the handwriting on the wall when the governors were getting together. And so, yes, come 2027, there is going to be a very strong alliance. Our movement is already afoot, getting there. Who do I think is going to head that ticket? That now is the elephant in the room, because the parties are all looking for jostling, want to use one another and stuff like that. Atiku, with the statement that he's making right now, and please pardon me for my language here, but the statement he's making that if the ticket is zoned to Southeast. I think that is being clever by half. That very much was much in there. And to the extent that Peter Obi said he was not going to play a second fiddle. So he left PDP and then was going to go to NNPP again when things did not work out well. So another chance has now come up. And the only way this is going to come on now is for Atiku Abubakar, who is still nursing very strong ambition to still be the president of Nigeria in 2027, to finally lick the spittle and give Peter Obi a chance. However, please listen to this. However, if that does not happen, I foresee a situation where Peter Obi, despite it all, and knowing fully well that the supernatural, performance that he had for 2019 election, 2021, 2022, that brought in this power was such that winners take it all, zero-sum game. He may then decide that if Bola Tinubu should not be given any other chance, we'll be ready to Sido. Hard to say, but that basically is my reading of it. Yeah.
Do you think that this planned alliance will make any difference in the nation's political landscape in 2027?
Simesola, it should. Ceteris paribus, like we say in the language of economics, all things being equal. But things will never be equal because the parties are coming to use one another to be able to get ascendancy to power. And it's not just this party, even the ruling party itself, over time, all of them just like when you don't play your game right, and then you lose out. Now, ceteris paribus, if Atiku Abubakar, day before yesterday, said, I am not only prepared to allow this ticket to go to Southeast and Peter Obi, I will ensure my party supports that ticket, and I am prepared to allow Peter Obi to be on my shoulder. That, like I said, is a big elephant in the room. Will it happen? I doubt. In the history of Nigeria, politicians are always very, very selfish. So do I feel that it's going to make any impact? To the extent that we don't get all these things on, I think the presidential aides were already making a jig and a dig at this alliance. Might be right to the letter that alliance, if it doesn't happen the way I have said, is going to be dead on arrival. It will not make any impact. I'm sorry.
Well, Mr. Akinfatunke, political expert, thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts. Again, a federal high court in Abuja has dismissed another bail application filed by Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, who is standing trial on 7-count charge bordering on treasonable felony as preferred against him by the federal government. The presiding judge, Binta Nyako, also refused Kanu's plea to be transferred from the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, to prison or to be placed under house arrest. In her ruling, Justice Nyako says the only option left for him is to appeal the ruling, and in that any further application on this ground would be regarded as an abuse of court processes. The court adjourned the matter until June 19 and 20 for commencement of trial.
Section 2, 3F of Terrorism Prohibition and Prevention Act says I cannot be tried in Nigeria. That's the law of Nigeria. I can never be tried in any court of law in Nigeria. That's what the law says. Anybody standing in trial or coming to try me is a terrorist. That's what their law says.
Section what, me?
As simple as that. Section 2, subsection 3F of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. That's what it says. Any court considered to try me is committing an act of terrorism. Yes. It's very clear. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then come to try that very person. Is not done anywhere in the world. So you must be aware of that. So that is why there is all these ridiculous delays. That is what Supreme Court said. I did not jump bail. My home was invaded. They came to kill me and I survived. They came to Kenya to kidnap me, brought me back to this country and seeking to try me, which the law says cannot happen. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then hope to stand on that illegality to conduct a trial. Is not done anywhere in the world. And happened in my case. Nobody has, there's no exception. No exception whatsoever. That's what the law says. Section 12 of the Constitution, what does it say? Any treaty ratified by Nigeria becomes law. It's law. You cannot change it. It doesn't matter what they do. All these shenanigans is just pure rubbish. You never stand. Not with me. I believe in justice and fairness. That's all.
In a similar development, Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the request by terrorist negotiator Tukur Mamu for his transfer from the custody of the Department of State Services to Kuje Prison in Abuja. Mamu is standing trial for allegedly aiding the terrorists who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train in March 2022. In his ruling on Monday, Ekwo said the court considered several factors, including the security situation at various custodial facilities in the country. The court held that the defendant also failed to show that his health needs could not be met at the DSS detention facility and consequently refused the application, fixing June 3, 4, 5, and 6 for continuation of the trial. The issue of local government autonomy has again come to the front burner in recent times following proposals to the federal government to transfer the conduct to local government elections to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The Senate also wants President Bola Tinubu to immediately stop allocations of funds to caretaker committee-led local government areas. Reacting to these calls on our current affairs program, DG 360, some political analysts blame state governments for manipulating the council electoral system through their appointed state independent electoral commissions. According to these experts, council elections have become a charade as ruling parties now select the chairman and councillors for every council.
I think the right thing for us as a nation at this moment in our history is to let the Independent National Electoral Commission take charge of elections at the local government so that we can put an end to abuse of such supposed independent state electoral commission. We can put an end to the abuse of such at the state level. Whether we like it or not, there's still some sense of reliability on the part of INEC as a body at the national level, which is missing in the states. So it is high time, if we are serious as a people, if we are actually looking at credibility in our elections at the local government level, I am making a call, as much as it has been made by the Senate, that we should allow INEC to be the one responsible for the conduct of local government election in the state. Only then can you find some measure of independency in the process. Only then can you have some level of trust by other political parties other than the party that is leading at a particular point in time in the state. And that will even cost us less.
Allowing state government to run local authority elections is not tenable. And people have argued, but that if I support federal system, why am I asking the national, the INEC to conduct local elections? And I've returned it back with the same, with a good answer. If INEC cannot conduct local government election, why is INEC conducting state elections? We should have a state elections conducting state elections. Then a local election conducting a local electoral system conducting local elections. We should have a national election conducting national election, a state authority conducting state elections, and have a local authority election system conducting local election. In this case, you have a national election authority, which is INEC, as we know, who conduct state and who conduct national and state elections, whereas you now give power to the state to go and administer local elections. Why can't we allow the federal government to conduct state elections? So let's allow INEC to conduct national election, and let the national government, as the federal government, set up another electoral system that will conduct state election. Let's see if the state government will allow it. What are we talking about? We must allow local system to work.
As the rainy season approaches, residents of New Okoba in Abule-Egba have appealed to the Lagos State government for immediate repair of inner roads and drainage systems in the area to prevent flooding in the communities. The chairman, Akorede CDA Lokman Nusiru, says due to the bad roads and erosion caused by heavy rainfall, movement is crippled in the area, leaving residents and business owners stranded. TV360's Sydney Okafo completes the story.
Driving or walking through this well-constructed interlock road in the New Okoba community makes commuters and residents feel at ease. However, a significant concern raised by many residents of the community is the poorly constructed drainage system and inner roads, hindering the free flow of water through gutters and exposing the roads to floods whenever it rains.
If it rain fall like this, all our streets will be dry, no water, no anything. But like 10 years ago now, the water did disturb us. So I went out. Before I came back, all my market is in this shop. Water overflow everything. So I can't see single something take out because I have a bag of rice there, spaghetti, salmon, everything spoiled before I came back.
2 weeks after I got here was when I noticed that the area gets this flooded. It's very terrible. When it gets flooded, you can't come out of your house, and you can't even come into your house if you are outside. It's not a thing of using a rain boot. A rain boot doesn't solve the problem.
Aside the losses caused by floods and the consequent threats to commuters and residents in the community, the poorly maintained canals create an uncomfortable environment, putting their health at risk.
This challenge has been going for long. It has been on, and we've tried our possible best in many ways. We thought when there was no road here before, so we thought when they made the road, we'll be okay. But when they did the road, I think the road was higher than the level of our house.
The major problem we are having here is erosion. To tell you the fact, you do enter my sitting room. You will enter my sitting room, enter the kitchen, pull out the fridge. Why you pull out the fridge is that the level of the water, pull out the fridge. Then the seat in the sitting room, you pull it off, the level.
Chairman of the Landlord Association described the disheartening reality where residents must vacate their homes during the rainy season, returning only when the weather permits them. The Landlord Association of the community says numerous appeals have been made to the Lagos State government to help the community before it is completely abandoned.
20 years we'll be facing this flood problem, and every year in and out it's getting worse and worse. Yes, the government of Lagos State have been trying their effort, but unfortunately we are still hopeful that the Lagos State government needs to come to our rescue.
In an effort to mitigate flooding in the area, community members usually work together to clear the drainage system and allow water to flow. The community members say until the problem is permanently addressed, tragedies occasioned by flooding may continue to be an annual occurrence. Sydney Okafo, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Central Bank of Nigeria withdraws circular on 0.5% cybersecurity levy. We'll bring details when News Now returns. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has joined other world leaders to pay tribute following the fatal helicopter crash that killed Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi. The country's foreign minister, Hossein Amir Abdullahian, and some other government officials. In a statement on Monday, President Tinubu, through his spokesman, Ajuri Ngelale, commiserated with the people of Iran over the incident, describing Raisi's death as a disturbing tragedy for the country. We also told you that the federal government has dismissed the planned alliance between former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi. According to the presidency, President Bola Tinubu is not bothered about the planned alliance, saying that the president is not losing sleep over alliance plots by Atiku and Obi. In case you missed any of our news bulletins, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. For more stories in the world of business, let's join Joy Uchejim, who's on standby. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you, Simi. Welcome to Business News. Now, following the national outrage that trails the announcement of the 0.5% cybersecurity levy on electronic transactions, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has withdrawn its earlier circular directing banks to implement the controversial policy. In its latest circular dated May 17, 2024, the Apex Bank referred to the earlier May 6, 2024 circular, announcing that the levy was being withdrawn after the Federal Executive Council decided to suspend it last week. The development sparked wild outcries, with labor unions threatening actions and pressure groups faulting the timing of the levy implementation amidst the cost of living crisis exacerbated by rising inflation. We'll take a short break and be back with stock market reports. It's the first weekday of trading, and Nigeria's stock market ended in the green territory, with the all-share index increasing by 0.05%. Topping the gainers list, we have food processing company Macnicos, which ended the day with a 10% price appreciation, closing at 1 naira 10 kobo, followed by Burger Paint, which closed the day's trade at 13 naira 55 kobo. However, despite the gains, more losses emerged today, as out of the total 124 NGX listed equities that participated in Monday's trade, a meager 13 stocks advanced against 29 losers. On the whole, we have a total of 405 billion volumes of shares exchanged in 8,439 deals, corresponding to a market value of about 6.7 billion naira. Now, when compared with the summary of Friday's trading session, today's data shows 29% decline in turnover, 22% improvement in deals, but 188% improvement in volume. That's a radical change. Now, on the foreign scene, our select global equities shared the same green sentiment as the Nigeria Stock Exchange after the Europe stock prices were boosted by a rally in commodity prices and geopolitical tensions in the Middle East simmering. But last minute, the US Dow Jones dipped back into the red zone, closing at 0.035%. Now, let's take a quick look at our foreign exchange market. Now, the Naira experienced a slight recovery against the US dollar as it traded at 1,501 naira 34 kobo on the official market and at 1,490 naira on the black market. And that's a 30 naira gain against the dollar, the first gain we have seen in days. The Great British Pound also traded at 1,903 naira 85 kobo on the official market and at 1,900 naira on the black market. The euros also traded at 1,630 naira 45 kobo on the official market and traded at 1,600 naira on the black market. That's it on both business and stock market reports. Simi, back to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy. And on the foreign scene, South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma has been barred from running for parliament in next week's general election. The Constitutional Court ruled on Monday that Zuma's 15-month jail sentence for contempt of court in 2021 disqualifies him from standing in the May 29 election. The ruling is based on South Africa's constitution, which prohibits anyone given a prison sentence of 12 months or more from holding a parliamentary seat. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
American music entrepreneur Sean Diddy Combs has apologized publicly after it was revealed that he had assaulted his former girlfriend Cassie in a hotel corridor back in 2016. Video footage circulating the internet captures Diddy repeatedly kicking and throwing objects at his then girlfriend Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel hallway in 2016. The rapper has now taken full responsibility for his actions in the video. Speaking in the video message shared via his social media page on Sunday, Diddy admitted that his behavior in the video was inexcusable. Controversial musician Portable has surprised his music producer by giving him a Lexus car after being arrested for unpaid debt related to a G-Wagon purchase. The singer was apprehended by the police and the car dealer after attempting to flee when confronted about the money he owed. Following his release from police incarceration, Portable revealed on his Instagram page that he had surprised his music producer Tutti upon the beats with a Lexus automobile. The producer was taken aback by the gift and conveyed his appreciation for Portable's love and support. And that's it on Entertainment News on News Now. Joy Uchejim, TV360, Lagos.
Finally, on sports, Liberia is set to face Nigeria's Flamingos in the final qualifying round for the 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. The Liberian girls defeated Senegal 2-0 in the second leg of their third qualifying round contest. Although they lost the first leg 3-1, the team sealed their passage on away goal rule. Liberia will host the Flamingos in the first leg in Monrovia on Saturday, June 8, and a reverse fixture will hold at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja, the following week. That's all on News Now. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.